Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Editor-in-Chief of Total Retail. I'm joined on this episode by Chandra Holt, who is the CEO of Conn's HomePlus. We're going to talk to Chandra a little bit about the Conn's HomePlus business. She recently joined the company and tell us a little bit about kind of her history and career in the retail industry, and as well as a little bit about what is planned for Conn's HomePlus going forward. So thanks for joining me today, Chandra.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Great to be here.
So as I noted, the CEO of Conn's HomePlus, I'd like for you to get us started by telling our audience, for those that aren't familiar with the company, a little bit about Conn's.
Sure. Conn's is a specialty retailer of home goods with 160 retail stores across 15 states. And we also have our website, conns.com. We offer a large assortment of brand name home products, including furniture, appliances, and consumer electronics. The company was founded over 130 years ago as a plumbing and heating company based in Beaumont, Texas. So most of our stores today are in Texas, but we span most of the southern US. We eventually expanded to offer home appliances like refrigerators and gas ranges. Then in the 1960s, the Conn Credit Corporation was created to provide financing options to help customers in Texas finance essential home-related products during the boom and bust cycles of the oil and gas industry. And so that's where I'll talk about this a little later, where our credit business was really founded. Today, the company is based in the Woodlands, Texas. And in addition to our retail business, we also have our own in-house credit business, which offers an unmatched financing option to our customers across the credit spectrum. Our differentiated business model combines a strong retail organization with a best-in-class credit offering. And we are one of the largest appliance retailers in the country and one of the fastest growing e-commerce companies within our categories as well. Our hybrid model with the retail and credit is extremely difficult to replicate and allows us to offer a value proposition to our customers that is unlike any national, regional, or e-commerce retailer that I've seen. We also offer next day white glove delivery on all of our in-stock products that you see in the store, which is market leading and faster than anyone else. So if your refrigerator breaks, Joe, and you need it quickly, we can get it to you the next day.
Yeah, thank you for that overview, because I'm not as aware of the credit piece of the business. So I thank you for kind of bringing that to my attention as well. Maybe just a follow-up there real quickly. I imagine that aligns nicely with the retail side of the business, and that are most, or if not all, of your customers using the credit line from the company as they make purchases, larger purchases such as appliances and furniture. Are they kind of pairing that up together?
Yeah, so roughly 60% of our customers use some type of financing option. So we have about 50% use our in-house loan that we are able to provide, and then another 10% use our lease-to-own option. And those are considered more subprime financing options that you wouldn't necessarily find at other retailers. We also have in-house credit card that another 20% uses. So total finance is 80%. So there's a lot of financing that happens because of the products that we sell are generally high ticket, and people need that assistance from a payment standpoint.
Yep. And it makes a lot of sense. So thanks for clarifying that. I'm going to ask the same question of you in terms of your own professional background, and tell us a little bit about yourself personally, Chandra, and what led you to join Conn's. I noted that you're relatively new to the company. Tell us a little bit about the decision to join Conn's as its CEO.
Sure. Before joining Conn's as CEO last August, I was the executive vice president for Walmart.com, where I led Walmart's e-commerce business and oversaw its omni-channel integration. Walmart.com and Walmart stores were separate, and so part of my role was to integrate both of those businesses together. Before that, I also held leadership roles at Sam's Club, where I led SamsClub.com, as well as several brick and mortar merchandising divisions. I also held roles at Walgreens and Target. So I've been in retail for over 20 years, both with experience on the brick and mortar side and the e-commerce side. I joined Conn's because of the unique opportunity I saw to leverage my experience across both brick and mortar and digital retail, and to drive the company's next phase of growth and long-term success. When I looked at the Conn's opportunity, I was initially impressed by the unique retail and credit value proposition that we just talked about. But I was also surprised and excited when I learned that basically everything that you see in the store can be delivered next day through our distribution centers. When I was doing the interview process and doing my due diligence on the company, I had the opportunity to spend time with Norm Miller, who was our CEO at the time, and we walked a distribution center, and he told me that basically everything can go out next day if the customer wants it the next day. I was floored, because at the time I'm running Walmart.com, and Walmart does a great job getting you small parcel things quickly, or things from the store quickly. But when you think of large items that can't be shipped it with FedEx or UPS, neither Amazon or Walmart have the capability to do next day like Conn's does. So this smaller company in Texas really piqued my interest.
Does that same day, I'm going to again have a follow-up real quickly, that same day delivery, you talked about most of the retail locations are in Texas. Is multiple distribution centers across the country, or are you primarily clustered in Texas and your customers are clustered in Texas as well?
So we're across the South. So we are a regional retailer. We're in 15 states. And so within those 15 states, we have 11 distribution centers and over 20 cross docks, which is how we're able to serve our customer with next day delivery.
So you talked a little bit about the exciting growth opportunity that you saw, and it's part of the reason why you joined Conn. So let's talk about that a little bit. Maybe to start, you could talk a little bit about, as you joined Conn's last August, tell us a little bit about kind of the state of the business then, and talk a little bit about what the growth strategy is that you have in mind. Where can you focus? Where's your focus for you and your team as you look to?
Yeah, Conn's is a great company. It's been around for a long time. And when I looked at the business, I saw a business that had this great differentiated value proposition with the retail and credit combination. But I also saw an opportunity to really modernize a company and leverage its existing capability around that next day delivery to really accelerate e-commerce. So when I came in, it really started from the beginning. And I believe great companies are guided by purpose and culture that aligns with where their customers are headed. When our team was creating our new growth strategy, which I'll get into in some detail in a minute here, we also introduced our new company vision and mission to help guide us and help us really make sure we're delivering on all of our stakeholders' expectations. So our new vision is that everyone deserves a home that they love. So if you think about what we've provided in the past in terms of the financing, some people would not be able to get the refrigerator of their dreams without the financing. And so that access we provide really helped us create that vision of everyone deserves a home that they love. And then our vision is enabled by our mission to elevate home life to home love. So you think about home life, again, your refrigerator breaks, we can get it to you the next day quickly, or if it breaks, we'll be there faster than anyone else. And that helps you turn home life to home love. Our customer base today is made up of two segments. It's our core financial access customers. So that's 60% of our customers. So those are the customers that I talked about earlier that use our Conn's financing or our lease to own financing. And they shop with us because of the access we can provide through our in-house credit and with LTO, with lease to own. And then we have a second customer, which we call the fast and reliable customer, who shops with us because of our next day delivery and our quick and reliable in-home service. Our growth strategy and key initiatives were designed to enhance our value proposition across both of our customer segments. So right now we have our core financial access customer, which is larger than our fast and reliable customer segment, but our fast and reliable customer segment provides us a larger opportunity, is growing faster, but we wanted to create a strategic plan that didn't alienate either group, that really created a stronger value proposition across both groups. And so the three strategic priorities that we have in place that will enhance the value proposition for both groups are strengthening our core retail experience. Second is to enhance our credit business. And then third is to accelerate our e-commerce growth. So if you double click a little bit into each of these, our strengthening our core business is really about our brick and mortar stores and our core merchandising and pricing. So our plan is to continue to grow the business and expand and open more stores in the next couple of years in the markets that we're in, but we do have aspirations to go to new markets as well. We're also testing out smaller format stores, which will allow us to be more flexible as we go through that expansion. Traditionally, we've had stores that are roughly 40,000 square feet, and right now we're in the process of testing smaller stores that are more around 25,000 square feet. And we just recently opened one in Abilene, Texas, which is doing great, and so we're really excited about that format. We're also looking at opportunities to improve our assortment, both in terms of depth and breadth, and becoming even more competitively priced as e-commerce really, you really have to have sharp pricing when it comes to e-commerce because pricing is so visible. And so we're doing a lot to make sure that we're able to add the right assortment that our customers want at the right prices. And part of that, which I'm really excited about, is private label. So before I joined Conn's, I ran the private label team at Sam's. And so I have a huge passion for private label. And we have a private label dream spot for mattresses, which is our #1 selling brand, both in terms of dollars and units. And we're looking to grow that success in the furniture category this year. The second strategic priority that I talked about was enhancing our credit business. And so, like I said, we have our Conn's in-house financing that offers loans to people who would not otherwise qualify for our in-house credit card or may not have their own form of credit or payment. That's a big piece of our business, and we're always looking at ways to enhance that through better user experience with the application process online. We're able to take customers who have shopped with us before and give them even more credit going forward because they've proven that they are good credit customers. We're always looking at ways to enhance that. But two of the things that I'm really excited about within enhancing credit is, first, we announced an acquisition of a lease-to-own tech platform. So by mid next year, our belief is that we'll be able to originate our own lease-to-own transactions in-house, which will create an even more seamless experience for our customers. Today, we use 2 third parties to run that business. The other thing from an overall vision standpoint is when customers come to Conn's, we want to have a payment option for everyone. And today, we have customers that they want to engage with us and purchase from us, but they maybe don't, they're buying a new house and they maybe don't want to take out credit, or they maybe don't get approved for even the lease to own. And so right now we're piloting old school layaway, which a lot of retailers have done away with, but for our customers it provides the final payment option. So when you come into a Conn's, you're able to get some type of payment assistance no matter where you are in terms of the credit spectrum or how you're feeling about your own ability to take on more credit.
Yeah, no, I was going to say almost kind of the version of, you hear so many retailers rolling out buy now, pay later, which essentially is a version of layaway. So, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and people always ask us about buy now, pay later, and our Conn's financing is buy now, pay later, right? So it's, and a lot of times when you're doing the buy now, pay later programs that you see at traditional retailers, there's a lot of fees and things that come with that, and customers don't necessarily want that. So a straight layaway program really helps avoid a lot of that for our customers. And then the last piece, which I'm very passionate about, is accelerating our e-commerce growth. Transforming digital commerce is a huge passion of mine. I've worked with SamsClub.com and Walmart.com, and when I was looking at Conn's only had a 2% e-commerce penetration, and when you look competitively in the market, e-commerce penetrations for our categories are in the 20, 30, 40% range. So lots of upside, and definitely a main reason why I came to Conn's. And while we're still in the early innings of our digital transformation, we're making fast progress, And we have exciting plans in place to rapidly expand our e-commerce business through improving our product value proposition with a better range of assortment. Just in the first quarter of this year, we've doubled our online assortment. So historically, we've only had what we had in the stores online. So we've doubled that within the first quarter this year. We're improving our digital experience. And then we're really doubling down on our distribution capabilities to become famous for that next day delivery. I think it's a hidden gem that people don't know that I think will really help propel us and modernize that overall value proposition. In terms of the digital experience, we have a lot of work to do, which is underway. One of the biggest things we're doing this year is a platform migration, and so we're transforming our website in 3 phases. I'm happy to report we're basically through phase 1, and we're about to embark on phase 2 this summer, and then phase 3 this fall. But ultimately, the longer term vision, there's some obviously basic blocking and tackling we have to do around assortment, pricing, and our digital experience, and then obviously doubling down on our next day white glove delivery. But really, my vision is to become a leading retailer in unified commerce. And so when you think about, I think it's sometimes a buzzword out there, but when you think about what unified commerce is and what it offers to the customer, you kind of have to look at the progression that brick and mortar retailers have made over time, going from brick and mortar to e-commerce. If you think back 2002, 20 years ago, you have retailers with brick and mortar stores and a website with the same brand, but there's very little interaction. So 2 different systems, a lot of times 2 different buying groups. The systems didn't talk to each other. You can buy things online. You can return them in store. There are a lot of times different assortments, different pricing. Didn't really feel very connected for customers. Over time, retailers have moved to omni-channel, which they still have 2 different systems in place, 2 different supply chains, but now the systems are talking to each other. They've started to integrate buying teams in some cases, so the assortments and pricing start to align a little bit better. But there's still disconnects for the customer, and a lot of times, people say, okay, so if you move to unified commerce, which is completely seamless, where you have one system that connects everything together, how is that different for the customer? Well, the example I give is, okay, if you're in a grocery store and you're checking out and while you're shopping, your detergent at the store was out of stock, but you see that it's in stock online. If you ask the cashier to add that detergent to your order, they'd probably look at you like you're a little bit crazy and tell you to go online or go on the app and place an order online. With unified commerce, the vision is at Conn's, and we actually rolled this out in Q1 of this year. If you're at Conn's and you're buying a sofa and you see the lamps that you want online that we don't carry in stores, our sales associates are able to add that to your delivery. So that's really something that we're working on, and we think we can get to be one of the first unified commerce retailers out there, and it'll be exciting times for our company. Really going from a multi-channel retailer a year ago to leapfrogging omni-channel right into unified commerce.
Yeah, and I thank you for that. That was a really nice. You've laid out kind of the vision on where you can take Conn's and the opportunities that are out there for the business. Having said that, of course, Conn's isn't immune to challenges like so many other retailers, both internal challenges as well as external challenges. So my follow-up question to you is, maybe can you talk a little bit about some of the roadblocks or challenges that you foresee along the way, whether current challenges or maybe even things that you potentially could be confronted with, and then secondarily, thoughts on how you can overcome some of those challenges?
Yeah, our industry and the economy as a whole are facing some pretty serious challenges right now. So you've got inflation, you've got customer confidence, you've got increased competition, you've got overlapping government stimulus, you've got a lot of dynamic things, and you can see as retailers are reporting Q1 results, there's a lot of noise out there. And so Conn's is definitely not, we definitely have to face those same challenges. Ultimately, we will stay focused on providing customers with a unique value proposition that differentiates us from other retailers. So in the short term, we have to manage the business as well as we can through these uncertain times. We serve a customer base that is split between prime customers and subprime customers. And so we have to walk that delicate balance of making sure that we still deliver on our value proposition, but also make sure we're managing risk on the back end. And then keeping the team focused on that long-term strategy. We have got a lot going on and we've got a lot to do. And I think there's going to be some exciting years ahead for Conn's, and trying to transform during this time of economic uncertainty is definitely challenging. So, it's my job to continue to motivate my team during times like this, helping them stay focused on executing against our plan, both short-term and long-term, which I'm very confident will get this company going in the way that all of our stakeholders are really proud of. I've also learned that when dealing with criticism or skepticism, you can't take it personally. There are growing pains that come with transformation, but if you're confident in yourself and your abilities and your team, then others will feel more confident trusting you and following your lead.
And I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about culture and kind of the internal culture that you're building at Conn's. But first, I want to address a little bit about, talked about some of your experiences at Walmart. I'm interested in how some of those experiences at Walmart and Sam's Club and kind of the transformations that you were a part of there may correlate to the vision that you have at Conn's. Tell us a little bit about that and how that past experience might be a benefit going forward at Conn's.
Sure. In my role at Walmart, I led the company's multi-billion-dollar U.S. e-commerce business and developed a proven track record of growth, delivering over 70% growth for Walmart.com in fiscal year 2021. My plan for Conn's coming in as CEO is really centered around the idea of unified commerce and harnessing the company's untapped potential to create what I know can be a hugely successful customer-first approach. So, Walmart and Sam's working there was fantastic. I got more experience on the brick and mortar side and ultimately transitioned over to the digital side, which was a fantastic training ground for me into digital. So being able to take what I learned there and now apply it to an up and coming company is very exciting.
And then, as I noted, I want to talk a little bit about the culture that you're looking to build at Conn's as a new CEO, coming from, a nationally, obviously, globally recognized organization like Walmart. As you take that leadership role, what is your vision in terms of the culture that you're trying to build at Conn's?
Sure. A huge priority of mine is to foster an inclusive company culture by increasing diversity at Conn's and empowering people with diverse backgrounds at all levels, women, people of color, etc., and making sure people feel that they have a seat at the table and are being listened to and are being considered for promotions. I've already started working towards this goal, and I'm happy to report that we've been able to grow our senior leadership team that reports to me from 20% diverse a year ago to 58% diverse today. I've also started a mentorship circle for corporate female employees at the director level and above, where we talk openly about the tough decisions and challenges that they're facing. And I'm able to offer very candid advice on how to overcome those challenges and find success. I think I've had mentor circles for quite some time in my career. And I know when I was in middle management, I always felt sometimes there was double standards or things that were frustrating. And I saw the women at the top and I thought it looked, I thought maybe they didn't face those challenges and it looked very easy for them, when in fact, that's not the case. And so I think by being vulnerable with the people within my organization about where I've had challenges and how I've overcome them, I think it helps them feel like they're not alone and the challenges can be overcome and they can find success.
Yeah, that transparency helping to build trust and connection, I imagine, with the teams that you're helping to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then lastly, Chandra, maybe we could talk a little bit about second half of 2022 and the trend or opportunity that you're most excited about for Conn's.
Yeah, I'm most eager for the opportunity to continue to innovate and push our 130-year-old brand into a new modern era. I'm primarily doing that through the strategic plan that I spoke about earlier. And there are certainly some exciting things coming up in the second half of the year within each of those pillars. I talked about strengthening the core within our retail segment. We're adding, assortment. Where I would say we're optimizing assortment both in stores and online. We're testing new store formats. We're looking at things like store within a store that can help accelerate us into more markets and help our financial performance in the markets that we're in. Obviously, e-commerce, we have a hugely transformational year within e-commerce, setting us up for true unified commerce in the years to come. And then enhancing credit, which has really been our core, and we want to continue to double down and strengthen that. But the one thing that I haven't mentioned that I'm really excited about is something that we coin as our strategic accelerator, and that's actually rebranding the company. So Conn's is a 131-year-old company with a great history, but we are looking at the opportunity to roll out a broader value proposition with a new name. And so that is work that is underway for this year. The plan is to roll out the rebrand next year.
Oh, that's exciting. And I imagine with some of the digital investments and initiatives that you're prioritizing in the unified commerce approach, that along with that comes, introducing the company to new customers. So customer acquisition, not only retaining existing customers and getting them to shop more frequently and exhibit their loyalty to Conn's, but also identifying new customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about where we've been in the past, it's really been anchored around that financial access customer, which is 60% of our customers, but 25% of the market. And so when you look at developing a broader value proposition around speed, the next day white glove delivery, the in-house service that we offer, so we can install things and fix things faster than anyone else out there, that appeals to, I think that really appeals to everyone. So,
Right.
Whether you do the financing or not, if, you need a refrigerator, do you want to wait 2 weeks or do you want it tomorrow? Right. And so I think, that being able to appeal to a broader set of customers is going to be critical for our success going forward.
Yeah, speed and convenience is universally appealing to all consumers, I would imagine. So you're headed in the right direction. I want to take the opportunity to thank Chandra Holt, who is the CEO of Conn's HomePlus, for joining us on today's episode of Total Retail Talks, discussing a little bit about kind of the future vision for Conn's HomePlus and how it's going to get there. So thank you for joining me today, Chandra.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.